Dinosaurs, Column.
Yes.
Children are big fans of dinosaurs. My favourite was the Stegosaurus.
I was always a fan of the T-Rex. I know it's the kind of obvious choice, but he was so large yet had such really small arms. He's just kind of endearing, you know. I like someone with a flaw to their character.
Do you know, I thought you were going to segue into it and be like, he's so small and yet so graceful.
No, I
much
just thought,
like, and then
I just went with my favourite dinosaur. But there are many dinosaurs and many prehistoric animals.
And yet not really dinosaurs.
Yeah, because they're like robots, basically. And they all appear in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is Sony's first-party title of the year, really.
Yep. Yeah.
A lot of hype around it. Advertised as this kind of bombastic kind of title where you're riding on the back of this robot horse.
Cyber moose. And like,
kind of thing. And yeah, taking down these big, massive... It's not exactly that. Or at least that's not kind of telling the whole story of Horizon Zero Dawn, because Horizon Zero Dawn is partly that, and I think that's where it shines. But it's also a stealth game. The first time you tackle anything, you go in trying to be kind of all stealthy and sleuthy and kind of quiet and whatnot, picking people off with arrows.
I guess because you're a hunter, right? You're a lone hunter. You got to track your quarry.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff.
On that subject, you are Aloy, who is the basic premise of Horizon Zero Dawn is that you have been raised by this guy called Rost, and you want to know more about your background, and specifically your family. And a nearby tribe called the Nora, they run this thing called The Proving, which is I suppose, Hunger Games-esque, but...
Sort of coming of age.
Kind of a coming of age kind of
if,
type of
If
thing.
you don't die, you are an adult kind of thing.
Yeah. And it goes to many different places after that. The main quest line. Like, the main story of Horizon Zero Dawn is quite interesting. And it is quite compelling. Like, that definitely kind of kept me going throughout the game. Kind of learning more about Aloy. I'm learning more about her as a character. 'Cause she's very intriguing as well. The people, and some of the people around her are. Not everyone. There are a few duds in there, as there is one to do or one to be in a kind of a large RPG.
It's a big open world. Not all of them are going to be winners, right?
Yes, because some of the side quests, whilst the main quest line, compelling, interesting, wanted to see more and more of it. Some of the side quests, they come under different headings. There's errands, bandit camps, which are basically outposts. There are tall necks, which are basically kind of Ubisoft towers, which are the big giraffes, if you've seen them. But
the big giraffes with like the Starship Enterprise for a head.
Yes.
Them ones.
And you basically go up on top of them and you do an eagle sink and you can see more of the map. But a lot of the side missions are, well, yeah, I've lost this thing, go there and get it. Or I've lost this person, track them down. And then it's kind of where you use your focus, which is the kind of Minority Report kind of
Bluetooth headset,
Bluetoothy thing, to basically see their path where they went.
I did walk in to watch you play a bit where you had just found one of the aforesaid lost people, and he was literally in the middle of doing a "tell my wife I said hello," and then kind of went, bleh, died.
Yeah. Again, I suppose it's going to happen because this is a big game.
You've done like 30 hours, I think.
Yeah, there is a lot here. Like, the map is humongous. It's fucking huge.
They do this thing, with the waypoints, right? Because you demonstrated that to me as well. So
the map is huge, but you have, I believe it's called dynamic waypoints and dynamic pathfinding, where the game tries to help you in getting from A to B by kind of acting like a sat-nav or a GPS, where if you're aiming, you're at A, you're aiming to get to B, and if you look on the map, it's to your right. Sometimes this dynamic pathfinding will bring you left to bring you right, like a sat-nav would if you tried to go down a one-way street
so it's like
to where you were going to.
If there's a mountain between A and B, it'll take you around the side of the mountain.
It, yeah. The problem is, there isn't always a mountain there, and it always wants to take you on the road or the path. Basically, it doesn't want you walking through grass. It doesn't want you walking in. Doesn't want to take you off road. Basically, it always wants you on the kind of the path most often travelled. It's kind of more awkward than it's worth. I understand what they were going for.
Well, it's to avoid, I guess, that Skyrim thing where you see your waypoint in front of you and then you spend 15 minutes sort of trying to jump strategically up the side of a mountain. Or
rather than walk the half an hour around. Yeah. So again, I get what they were going for. I think it's probably a bit more trouble than it's worth. Because it can be very disorientating.
I think some people are going to really like that and some people will fucking hate it.
Yes.
Just from looking at it.
I still haven't really made up my mind. I still kind of fall, I fall in between two camps. It helps sometimes and it kind of hinders other times. But the combat, so you have the kind of stealth aspect, which I don't think the stealth works as well because of the fact that so you have two main enemies. You have humans and you have a selection of robots of varying size. When you kill a human and another tribesman comes along, he'll see the body, he'll be alert, something has happened here. That's fine. But you can't pick up a body. So like I think it kind of
I see. So you can't
hide it. And then the robots will walk clean past one of their robot buddies and not say a single solitary thing.
I saw this in action as well because you were hiding in a shrub.
Yes.
And then whistling to get the robots to come over. And then you would stealth. What was it like? Quiet.
Silent kill.
Silent kill, which was not silent. and then you do it again and whistle and then the robot will come over and then there was just sort of a heap of bodies because they would all die in the same place.
But yeah, where the combat does kind of stand out is when it just turns into an action game and you can utilize all your weapons that you have. Because it's a criticism of mine in certain games when you have 25 different weapons available to you, but you kind of only use 3 of them. Like in Horizon, there are a kind of basically a small number of weapons, but the quality of them vary. Like you can buy better quality ones. So you have your kind of general, your bow and arrow. You have a slingshot, which you can use for like elemental bombs and explosives, things like that. And you also have a thing called a trip caster and a rope caster, which a rope caster you might have seen, which is how you can tie robots down to the ground, basically.
Like the walkers, right?
Yes.
Or ATST.
And you have these thing called trip casters then, which you can kind of set up traps. Basically creating a hazard across from one point to another point for one of these robots to walk past, and it either shocks them or freezes them.
Like a tripwire thing, yeah. Okay.
And some of the smaller robots, you won't need those things. But like something like a behemoth or something, like to put it into real people terms, like the robots that are like rhinos or the robots that are like
I saw a giant
saber-tooth
crocodile and I saw a big T-Rex thing. I saw I don't know what the fuck it was, but it could breathe fire. There was no real world equivalent.
Like every robot as well, every kind of enemy robot has specific strengths and specific weaknesses.
I guess you can learn them like as if you were a hunter, right? You can be like, well, I know what to do with this one, so this is the tactic I'll use, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you said to me that it's sort of like it takes bits from a lot of other games.
So, like Horizon Zero Dawn has a lot of crafting. You craft ammo, you craft pouches and satchels and wallets and things to carry more ammo, to carry all that. You craft potions, and it takes, say, something like that with the, like you mentioned, hunting. Like to get a bigger pouch for your bombs, you might need a boar skin or something like that. So then you have to try and track down a boar, kill him. Very Far Cry-ish. Like for all intents and purposes, it is kind of, it's very much an Ubisoft game.
Which I'm right with because I like Ubisoft games, right? So
because with the tall necks, they're basically towers, I suppose, in like an Assassin's Creed or whatever. But then you have these things called cauldrons, which are like separate underground kind of side stuff again, which are very much like tombs from Tomb Raider. You have hints of a dialogue system which pop up every now and again. They're kind of, I suppose, almost Mass Effect-y actually in terms of Paragon and Renegade. You have 3 different options, right? There's basically, someone will say something. It only happens like a couple of times throughout the game. You can basically be angry with him, nice with him, or kind of somewhere in the middle. and it never affected things. Like, there was one time I was actually having a conversation with one of my, a guy I was going doing a side mission for, and he told me something bad that had happened to him, right? And I basically chose the nice option, which was, yeah, something bad has happened to me as well. And he went, fuck, why do people always have to turn it around on them? Anyway, look, I'm looking for this thing. So it takes elements of a lot of different games and doesn't do them quite as well. It does them decently. Like, the hunting is better in Far Cry. The dialogue system is, I think, basically irrelevant. And kind of characterization, like there are, like, again, as I say, Aloy I think is very good, and the guy who raised her is very good. And of course Daniels from The Wire is very good, but just not everyone in there is a show stealer. And I think, yeah, in terms of characterization, you look at something like an Uncharted or something like that, kind of compare to Sony first party. Again, it just doesn't quite reach those heights. What Horizon does do, it does very well in terms of presentation, the music. It looks very nice and the lighting is very nice. So, as a complete package, I think it's good.
If you want to watch Video Gamer TV videos a day early, make sure you check out videogamer.com. You can also support us by becoming a member of the VGBGs and getting some exclusive content. Just head to patreon.com/videogamer. Like this video? Why not share it on your social network of choice? Or you can check out one of our other videos, like the one that's playing